Welcome to my tutorial number 14. It's titled Basic Bounce or Ricochet using ActionScript. We're going to start by opening a new Flash document. On this first layer, we're going to call ball. Go to the library panel, open up a new symbol, a movie clip, call it ball, B-A-L-L, capital B, underscore MC. I'm going to use a black stroke and I'm going to make a red ball. I'm going to use my oval tool, hold the shift down and make a ball. Pick up my selection tool, highlight it, up to the modify, convert to symbol, make it a button of the same similar name, B-A-L-L underscore B-T-N for button. I have a ball button inside of a ball movie clip. Back to scene 1. Select that first frame of the ball layer, drag your ball in on the stage and give it an instance name. Copy this name and paste it in here. We now want to make another movie clip. Go back to your library panel, click on the new symbol. It's a movie clip and it's called wall, W-A-L-L underscore MC. Label this wall, W-A-L-L, this first layer. Grab your rectangle tool. We'll keep the stroke black, but we'll make the fill a bluish color and make a long skinny wall. There it is. Highlight it. Grab your selection tool, highlight it, modify it to a symbol, button, W-A-L-L underscore B-T-N. Okay. This may not be necessary, but sometimes when you're writing the script, it's good to have them already done. Back to scene 1. Click on the balls layer, insert a layer, call it wall, W-A-L-L-S, because there's going to be more than one wall. Select frame 1 of the walls layer and bring the wall on the scene. Let's lock this balls layer so we don't make any mistakes here, and let's go down to 25% and make this the length of the stage. Well, it's a good time to fix our stage. Click on the stage anywhere and you got this box. Click on this. Let's make it 700 by 550. Okay. And I want this to be the length of the stage, which I know is 700. So come down here, make sure this is unlocked. I don't want those two right angles there. Click it, they're gone. And for the length, which is the width, make that 700. Enter, and that's the full length. Click your selection tool and either with this way or tab it and put it right at the bottom of my stage. Copy this instance name, right click, copy it, paste it over here and call it wall 1. While we're doing the walls, bring another one in, set it there, it's selected, go over to your alignment panel, open up the transform tab. If you haven't got the alignment panel, you can pick it up under the windows. There it would be right there. and go to the transform panel, select rotate. Obviously don't have it highlighted. Highlight it, rotate 90 degrees, enter, and I know that the stage is 550, so down here the height, change it to 550 and move that into place. Give this an instance name, copy here, paste it here, and revise it and call it wall 2. Lock the layers, select that walls layer, insert a layer and call it button. B-U-T-T-O-N, that's a button layer. Select that first layer and up somewhere here draw a button. Grab my oval tool, keep the black stroke, I'm going with a lighter color, maybe a greenish color here, and I'm making an oval here. There it is there. And pick up my selection tool again, highlight it, up here to modify, convert to symbol, it's going to be a button, and it's going to be START underscore BTN. Come down here, pick up this instance of name, copy it, and paste it. So I have 2 movie clips, and a button that I'm concerned with. With the buttons, all layers are locked. Select the buttons layer, insert a layer, action script, AS. With our first frame of our action script selected, open the actions panel and type in this information. These are the variables we're going to be working with. Variable start underscore BTN, capital S, a colon, capital button. Button should appear in blue, VAR should be in blue with a semicolon. The next one, a variable, my ball movie clip, colon, movie clip, capital M, capital C, that's in blue, semicolon. Variable wall 1 movie clip, variable ball wall 2 movie clip. That's the 4 items we're going to be writing script on. Open your actions panel if it's not already opened and type in this information. It's a function controlled by the start button. START underscore BTN on release equals a function. And this function is simply going to take that ball movie clip and give it an X position, the X axis of 100, and it's going to give it the Y axis of 250. And this will only happen once when I press the button, so let's see if this is working. Test my movie. I press my button and I give it a position based on this. If you want a different position, you change it. We now want the ball to be able to move from where it is. So after this semicolon, insert your cursor, enter a line, and type this information. It says ball X speed, capital B, capital X, capital S, equals 6. That's 6 pixels. Ball Y speed, capital B, capital Y, capital S, equals 6 pixels. And up here we have to declare those 2 values. Once you have them typed, copy them, come up here after your last variable, paste them in, write variable in front of this, VAR, write variable here, VAR, and a colon, and that's a number, NUMBER, and this one's a number, colon, capital NUMBER, and my vars shouldn't have a capital V. That's why they're not blue. I'm formatting, and normally we would put these at 0 to start with. 0, 0. At this time, it's not going to do any more than just put that ball on the stage somewhere, because it's only going to put it on when we press the button. It's not going to be moving or anything. So come down at the end of that line here, and you might have noticed that this semicolon, well, the program puts that in automatically. You don't need to worry about that. Come down and type this in. We're going to make a function. It's on enter frame function, so that means it's going to happen over and over and over and over and over and over, because we only have the one frame, and it's just going to sit there and go over and over. Otherwise, it would only happen once. And what we want to happen is we want the y-axis value of the ball to change based on these two values of 6. So type in this code. Ball movie clip, period, underscore, x, plus equals. It's equal to this ball speed up here, which is going to be 6. Ball underscore MC period y-axis underscore y is going to be equal to this speed. The plus equal instruction actually increments the x and y positions of the ball by a value of 6 pixels each time it goes through that loop of the on enter frame instruction. So let's give this a quick try. We'll format it first. Well, it doesn't make sure there's no errors, but it catches the most obvious errors. Let's test it. Okay, there's the ball where we're putting it based on the parameters that we started with. When I click it, it's jumping over here, and it's going down, hit that line. What we want it to do is bounce off that line. Let's go back to scene 1, because I don't want that ball to be seen until we want to press the start button. Lock all the layers, unlock the ball layer, select frame 1, and pick that ball up and move it way off to the side. That solves that problem. So it's not there until we hit the button, and here it comes. So that's good. I want to have a little more control, so I'm going to introduce another variable that's going to be controlled by the start button, so that what's going on inside of this on frame function will only happen after the start button has actually been pushed. So go to the end of your variables, put your cursor, insert a line, and type in this. It's a new variable. It's called ball released, capital B, capital R. Same format, it's a number. And we're going to set it at 0 as a variable, but at the bottom of this start button, we're going to put it here so we can have some more control on this on frame function. And we want that ball released to be equal to a 1. Okay, so when I press the button, I'm going to set the parameters of where the ball is going to sit. I'm going to set the basic speeds of the x and y, and I'm going to say there's a 1 in this thing, this ball released variable that we're going to be checking down here and doing something with that. We're going to have this information happen based on testing this variable. So put your cursor at the end of that curly bracket, insert a line, and it's the if statement. If bracket ball released, oh, that's an open bracket, capital B, capital R, equals equals. You need 2 equals if you're comparing something. If it equals 1, close bracket, open curly bracket, we want this then to take place. The other thing I want to be happening when we enter this function is I want to prevent us from it being able to hit that button again while the ball is moving. So let's type in this code. It says start underscore BTN, capital S, that's our button, period, underscore visible, VISIBLE. You'll know this underscore visible is right because it will turn blue. Equals false, FALSE, and this is blue, semicolon. Okay, so that means when we hit the start button, that's going to become false and not be able to see it. Now, to make the ball bounce, we're going to have to check to see if it hit that wall, and that's going to be a hit test. We've done lots of them in other tutorials. So I'm pasting this, and it's another if test. If it says bracket ball underscore MC, capital B, period, hit test, small h, capital T, bracket, there's that wall 1 movie clip, 2 closed brackets, open curly bracket. The other end of this bracket is down here. And what it says is the ball speed of the x-axis and the ball speed of the y-axis are based on those up there. That's what they were. But before we're using them, we're changing them. The ball y speed is equal to the ball y speed times -1. So if the speed was 6, way up here, the speed was 6, this recognizes it as 6, sends it down as 6, but when it hits the wall, it says it's 6, but because the wall was hit, I'm going to make it a -6, and that'll send it up the stage and looks like it's being bounced. I'm going to do a quick format check, and it tells me there's an error, and the error is I believe we need another closed curly bracket for our function. Let's test this. Here it comes. It disappeared like it's supposed to, and it bounces. We now want to bring in the code for the wall 2. So between these two close curly brackets, I'm going to insert my cursor, insert a line, and paste this information. It's an if statement, and it's based on this movie clip hitting wall 2 this time. And there's 3 things taking place. The ball movie clip will be made invisible because it hit the wall and it disappears. The start button will be made visible so we can use it again. And this ball released variable is made a 0, so we don't go through this frame anymore. We now have to wait for the start button to be pushed to make this a 1 so we can go through this loop again. We have everything accounted for except this ball visible line. So let's copy this. Let's copy it. And we have to, so up here in the start button section, after this ball y speed 6 semicolon, set your cursor, insert a line, paste what we just copied, and here we're going to tell it to be true. So let's try this. Here comes the ball. It'll ricochet here. That's a 45 because they're both 6s. When it hits here, it brings the button back, the ball disappears, and we can do it over and over and over. Right? Let's go back and we'll do some quick recapping of the code. The start button gives us some control on setting some basic parameters. It sets the basic position on the stage of where the ball would be. So depending on where you want the ball, you can set these parameters. This is the initial speed. If they're both equal, it's going to go on a 45-degree angle down like that. If you made the x 0, it would just stay right on the line and just drop right straight down the page. Let's test that. Bang, bounce right straight back up. So you can see that with what that controls. Naturally, if you made this one 0, it's just going to go straight across. This visibility is a setting to let us know that we want to see the ball. We want to see it because, and we got to do this because we want to turn it off. And this ball released is set to a 1 to allow us to get into this function right here. So once we have the button pressed and we have this a 1, this test becomes true, and we can fix these values to the x and y axis of the ball, and this is just increment them by 6. This means increment by 6 by 6, whatever you have here. At the same time, turn off the start button so we can't see it or use it. When the ball hits the wall, whatever speed it was, in our case is 6, and we're only dealing with changing the y at this point in time. If it was 6, this says take that 6, multiply it by a -1, which just means make it a negative, negate the number. That's called negation. Now the x and y axes are going to be such that it's still going to be traveling the same direction. X-y is this way, but instead of coming down the screen, it's going to go up the stage. And eventually it will hit wall 2, and wall 2 is like the reset wall. It'll tell the ball to disappear. Your visibility is false. It'll tell the start button to say come back so you can be used again, and to allow us to not jump directly into this function here, it makes that ball release to 0, waiting for us to press this button to make that 1 so it can start over. I'm going to do another one of this, at least one more of this type bouncing thing. So keep an eye out for a 15 and or 16 on bouncing balls. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.